And I got two almost identical looking shirts. But they have a different fit, okay? Just slightly different. Why is my entire closet almost completely black? Well, I don't, it just means I can, accessorize with more color. Everything matches. This part folds. Cool. Okay.
Hi, my name is Phoenix and this is TFL Design, and I can't be a minimalist. I just can't. And apparently I can't record videos correctly either, as the mic that was attached to my phone while I was recording was either running out of batteries or malfunctioning and making popping noises in and out. So I can't use any of the audio from the videos, but I can use the video itself and do a voiceover that totally doesn't match my lips speaking. Cool? Whatever. Anyway, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the growing wave or trend of minimalism, which sort of coincides with the growing recession and awareness of consumerism, and general exhaustion of all the advertising constantly thrown at our faces. Especially with social media that is prevalent in today's landscape. I mean, I grew up at a time where if I didn't know something, I'd have to consult with one of the 10 discs of alphabetical encyclopedia information, because I sure as hell didn't have the shelf space for actual encyclopedias. I don't think my parents could have afforded A to Z at the time anyway. I'd get up to E and never learn what a splade was. I mean, who wouldn't want to learn about a 1/3 fork, 1/3 spoon, 1/3 knife? It's more powerful than a spork. Where was I? Ah yes, minimalism. I can't do it. Plain and simple. Why? Not because I'm a slave to consumerism, although I probably can't do anything about capitalism. Here's the thing. I've worked in the design/advertising world for a while now, and I've sat in a room to discuss how to sell stuff to insert minority group here. So I know everything I buy that isn't from a wholesaler from China had a shit ton of people sitting around talking about how the packaging should look for the target audience, etc., while simultaneously sharing boring plans about their upcoming weekend. No one cares about your vet visit for your cat, Susan. So while I browse social media and such, I'm keenly aware of what is being done to my brain cells. And I'm not saying I'm totally immune to everything, but let's just say I never was the type to go for hyped things and would always be like 5 years too late for a fad. I never liked super logo saturated stuff, and everything I wore for the past 25 years is either black or white or gray with varying shades. Only recently have I started to wear colors that I enjoyed in my early childhood. Pink rules, okay? So what was the point of all I said previously? It's to set up why minimalism doesn't work for me. And while I wouldn't say I'm a maximalist, I'm more of a person that needs constant stimulation due to my upbringing in New York City, perhaps. When I first moved from New York to Toronto, I noticed my eyes would dart around while sitting in public transportation, desperately looking for something to look at. In NYC public vehicles, there'd be a shit ton of ads for sex, alcohol, and lots of crazy colors. But in Toronto, it was mostly family-friendly ads for milk and community stuff, which wasn't enough for my brain. I was shaking my leg, shifting my eyes constantly. It took about 3 years before my brain would settle down and relax and actually enjoy the peacefulness that was the Canadian family-friendly colors and ads. So why can't I add that into my home life? Why do I have so much shit in my home and keep buying more shit? Well, like I said in my previous video, I'm a homebody, and during the lockdown when everyone else was going insane indoors, I felt almost absolutely no change to my life, as each room I was in was surrounded by fun paraphernalia ranging from nerd statues, posters, John Wick shower curtains, an armory, etc. Do I buy these things to keep me happy? Yes. Were they advertised to me in any way? Not really. As hard and loud as I try to scream the words rifles, guns, ammo into my phone, I've yet to receive any clickable ads to buy firearms in my social media. I say the words baby shower, however, and suddenly I get diaper and expecting mother ads. I know you're listening, Siri. I'm on a tangent again.
I like to use these on my AirPods so that they don't fall off when I'm like running.
Now, I'm not saying clearing one's living space is a bad thing and that everyone going down the minimalist life isn't doing themselves a favor. If it helps them clear their minds, keep their homes clean, or keep off a shopping addiction, sure, why not? What I'm saying is that it doesn't work for me. I wouldn't say I have a shopping addiction. That usually applies to only women, right? Specifically targeting women that buy what is seen as a lot of superfluous girly shit that people easily jump and hate on. However, because I buy a lot of nerd and gun stuff, which are somehow cooler in people's eyes, the guns anyway, people that follow me don't put the two and two together. I joke about having a shopping addiction online at times, but most people recognize that I'm simply expanding my hobby list. I've mentioned this many times where this was a gradual shift due to changes in government laws, shelving spaces, etc. Basically, Canada doesn't like guns, so why buy more? And I have more statues than I have shelves, so I have to switch to a new hobby. Other than gaming, I just update my rig every few years, which occupies the same desk space. It's big enough for any future expansion. Right, fuck, minimalism. Why can't I stay on topic? See how my brain works? Is it bad that my brain goes everywhere like this? I say it helps me in my profession as a designer. I have no problem focusing, but I like to fluff things and build fantastical backgrounds because my brain can take me anywhere, and it does it quite often. Even though this is a script and I'm reading it in the attempt to focus my long video rants, I feel the need to go here and there to build this mental picture. But you get an insight to how I like to organize things, and that is with everything splattered against the wall. So with that way of thinking, how can I possibly flourish in a simple beige environment with a plant and an off-white colored couch? I can't. Every room in my home is a different bright color. Every wall has a framed poster or shelf with tons of figures and buttons and things. My armory is just a shit ton of guns I'd mounted and like to stare at just as long as I stare at my growing shelf of girly handbags. I'm not saying buy everything you see. That's dumb and irresponsible. I told you I wasn't influenced in my purchases by outside forces. What I buy are very niche, and while most people hide them, I clearly share them with the world. Shopping for the sake of shopping means you won't have room on the shelf for long, or money in the bank for another more important purchase. Make your purchases purposeful and think hard about them, especially if they're expensive ones. My personal rule is that if what I want to buy is something that won't make me feel uncomfortable with my bank account amount right now, meaning I'm not saving up for it, then it's something I can afford. If it's something that I have to save up for, it's not something I can afford or I'm in the income bracket for. This isn't a house or a car you're buying, it's a handbag or a statue or a gun. They're not needs, they're wants. And here's the second thing I think about. If I were to buy it right now and it suddenly got lost or spontaneously combusted, and I could not afford to buy it again almost immediately after, then it's not something I can afford either. None of these things are investments. They can be taken away by the government at any time or be lost in a house fire. They're just stuff. If you're able to see it that way, then I don't think it's a problem. But that's just me. I'm not a maximalist. I don't want to fill my life with random stuff that I can't remember exists 3 months later. I want stuff in my life that will reflect who I am as an individual to anyone that steps into my home and get an immediate reaction of glee and joy or horrified disgust. Whichever one, I don't care. But as with any design I create, I have to know when to step back and admit when enough's enough. And that trimming down of things here and there is required so that the flow of things are organized and there's a purposeful reason to every brushstroke and seemingly random space explosion. And in the words of my husband, moderation is for cowards. And this is why I can't get tattoos. I'd just go totally Tim Henson. My life is a Jackson Pollock, as you will. It works for me. It's not as random and thoughtless as some would think of it. It's just simply me. Comment and subscribe. Whatever, I don't care.